Hey now, welcome to Fewa Lake, Nepal. It's Saturday afternoon. It's a really nice day here today. As soon as I turn the camera on, everybody starts staring at me. I've been sitting here for at least 15 minutes without putting the camera on. But now that I'm talking to the camera, everybody's like, "Oh, look at that guy." I'll give you a view of those guys. So this big swing here appeared about 7 or 8 days ago during the Dashan festive time, which ended just a couple days ago. And one of the traditions of that is the adults build swings for all the young children that want to play on a swing. It's kind of a traditional thing. This swing is just a basic rope swing hanging up here, but over here you'll see the bamboo swing. You probably can't distinguish it. Maybe I'll walk over and show it later. This is Fewa Lake in Fewa. So today is Saturday, the first Saturday after the big week of festivals, and it's still another week before the second big festival season, which is Tihar. And this, as some of you may know, is the festival about 6 or 7 days where the first 4 days they honor a different subject for the whole day. The first day being crows. They honor the crow because they carry the sorrow of Hinduism. And I only know that because I read it just yesterday. But the second day is the day of, the second day is the day of the cows. Cows before dog. The second day is the day of the cow, for Mother Cow, the giver of life for India and this region. We are actually in Nepal, but I'm speaking more of Hindustan, which Nepal would be considered part of Hindustan. So the second day is honoring cows. Cows are given a garland of marigolds, a tika on the forehead, and fed good grasses all day and treats. And also given a bath. People will wash all the cows. There is no more sacred cows, no cows wandering in Kathmandu. And that's been for many, many years. But cows still wander here, and actually they wander right through here. I won't be surprised if we don't see a cow in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Could possibly happen. The next day, though, after that is the day for the dogs. Man's most faithful companion, as it was stated in the Hindu references that I was reading. That is the reason why they honor the dogs, because they are faithful companions. And they are given a tika on the forehead in red and a garland also. I haven't seen a lot of street dogs that I would consider really wild dogs on my trip this time to Fewa. My little street that I live on is right here, and I'm in, you might be able to read the Lotus, Hotel Lotus. That's my hotel that I'm in. This little street here goes up really about 10-15 blocks. I only wander about 2 blocks of it, and there's hotels and 2 or 3 restaurants that I really like. But there's a few pet dogs along the way there. And a pet dog is usually somebody's animal that they keep, but they don't typically keep that close a track on the dog. He's allowed to wander up and down the street as he wishes, comes home when he wants, and gets fed. And treated very well. Now there are people that have lap dogs now, the little dogs that are always at their side, you know, there's actually Chihuahuas here. I've seen Chihuahuas, but they're not that popular. The pug is the really popular dog here, the one that I see people honor the most. And anyway, and then there are street dogs that are just pretty mangy, but they're usually treated really well. They're not treated terribly at all. Much better than any other place I've ever been. Dogs are treated well because I've heard once it was explained to me that dogs, being the faithful companion of humans, could possibly be, or may be considered to be, reincarnations of humans that didn't quite cut the mustard, and they actually dropped back down into the animal realm. And typically, people think about a dog on the street as maybe their forlorn uncle, who was kind of a bad guy, and you know, he died, and maybe he didn't get his trip to Nirvana, so his trip back, he might end up being the dog. So treat the dog well, because he could be a relative of yours. That's how it was explained to me years ago. So I'm sitting here filming with my GoPro, and I should take a look over at this camera and talk over here for a second, because this camera is shooting in 360 and it's giving us a nice projection of what it's like when I've got my GoPro in my hand and I'm sitting kind of talking to that. I'm hoping the sound comes out pretty well. So this is done about a 6 or 7 minute video, which is longer than I like to go, because I believe my GoPro cuts off at 5 minutes. It doesn't cut off, but when it comes back to loading the GoPro, I can load a 15-minute video, but when it loads in, it cuts it up into 5-minute chunks. And then they expect you to edit it and stuff like that. But I typically, and I'm trying my best to do one take shots. Just start the camera, try to get a dialogue flowing, like I kind of like to think I'm sitting talking to you. You're right now, this camera here, you can see, is closer. It's almost shoulder arms around length, and I don't know, I think that's a good framing of that. It's right at almost eye level high. I'm looking down on it just a bit, and I try to keep, as you can see from this camera looking this way, you can see that I keep the camera just about this close. Now, I took a big shower today and got all cleaned up. It's Saturday. Today's the day. Everybody, this is the only day off all week in Nepal. Saturday. Sunday, tomorrow, is not considered at all religious. It's a day that they know the Christians observe as their temple day, and then that's what they call it. The Christians' temple day is on Sunday. Hindus visit the temple almost every day, if not 2 and 3 times a day. So Sunday, tomorrow, is a business day, and everybody goes back to work. All the offices are open, everything's open, and Monday is the first day of the week, and Friday is the last day of the week. And that also coincides with some of the other religions. The Muslims consider Friday the end of the week, and they always consider the next couple days kind of their holier days than most of the days. But typically Buddhists and Hindus, from what I know, there's not any more religious day of the week than any other day. So I just decided to come out today because typically today's a great day to see families and kids and people going out and about, and everybody kind of takes a day off and have some fun. They eat better foods. They just enjoy themselves. They play in the swing with their kids here. So I think I'll cut this one off now, and I'm gonna walk along maybe one last look at the lake. I'm gonna walk along the lake this way. Actually, you got to cut inside. And by the way, that is the front gates to what was the royal palace. When we had a king here, that is his summer home, is right there. That's the front gate of the summer home of the king. And it goes for about a 1/4 mile, maybe, I don't know how wide. It's always, you can't have any access to the lake here. And it used to be heavily guarded, like men. You can still see all the guard posts now. I believe that parts of that is actually a guest house. The last time I was here 2 years ago, I know that there was a guest house or a building in there that you could get a room or such. I haven't really looked this time, and the times that I have looked, it hasn't popped up. So that place might have closed off. and become maybe much more of a private resort. I do know that there is government buildings and government facilities in there where high government officials stay, but no more King's Palace. This was the summer palace of the king. Oh, one last little bit of tidbit, and I haven't verified this, but I had a guy tell me a couple, 6-7 days ago that when Barack Obama and Michelle Obama was here, they visited for 3 days, 2 nights. Right, 3 days, 2 nights, and they stayed at a room, a place that was just around the bend of the lake here, and you have to, the only access to it, it's actually across the lake, and they run a little private ferry back and forth to this exclusive hotel. You know, probably $100 a night for this place, at least, I'm imagining, which is a lot of money here for a hotel room. Although right here, that's $100 a night hotel, and one of the finest hotels in Lakefront is just down about a half a block or a block down here, called the Glacier Hotel. I kind of like to think of it as the Glacier Point Hotel, which is kind of a reference to where I spent a summer back in the, what was that? Probably in the 70s. The summer of 1978. I worked up at Glacier Point for that summer. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but that's the best part of this. I think it is. Anyway, now this is not the best part. I'm going to sign off with a hey now, and pack up everything and maybe take a walk in the town, and sooner or later I'll be at the lake, and I definitely am going to do a little 5-minute walk past some of the cafes along Lakeside. All right, oh, there goes tourist bus. All right, that's it for now. 12 minutes 39 seconds. That's a bit of a rambling. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll cut off the 360 camera like this, tap it like that, and that should shut that off. Yep, there she goes. Goodbye GoPro. Let's see how we edit these together. Bye bye.